Hi, this is James Shug with Westpac London's end-of-day report for Wednesday the 23rd of November. Well, another significant risk-off day today, mainly because of concerns out of Europe. The Germans had a bond auction today. They didn't sell all the bonds they had intended to, and yields rose back above 2% after being around 1.8% for quite some time. The cost of insuring French, Spanish and Italian debt, government debt, rose to an all-time record high, and economic numbers out of Europe were disappointing, with in September industrial orders falling 6.4%, the biggest fall since the recession of a few years ago, and the latest PMI survey is remaining below 50 at 47.2 for the composite in the November advance report. The sort of levels that we saw heading into the last recession in 2008. The US numbers today saw a fall in durable goods orders of 0.7% in October, and also weak personal spending, up just 0.1% in October. There was some other data out as well today. Probably the other major event to mention was the Bank of England put out the minutes of their November meeting, where they said that, with respect to Europe, that while the worst risks had not so far crystallised, the threat of their doing so had increased, exacerbating the already severe strains in bank funding markets and financial markets more generally. I suppose not unrelated to that, the Fed has put in place new stress testing for American banks, where they've got a test for a very stressed situation, that is 13% unemployment in the US, and default by various other countries, as the sort of factors they've got to take account of in terms of how well their balance sheets would survive that sort of situation. And that in itself may have partly been to do with the weakness that emerged in financial markets in the US today as well. So they are the main events of the day. In terms of the market movements, we've got the London market closed down 1.3%, the French market down 1.7%, the German market down 1.4%, and at 6:15 in London, the Dow in the US is down 1.4% at 11,337. Of course, the US markets aren't open tomorrow for Thanksgiving, and there's talk that with markets being so thin, that there's potential for quite significant volatility, particularly if someone wanted to punt something around a bit. So watch out for markets tomorrow. In terms of commodity markets, we've got copper prices down 1.7% today, oil prices down 1.33% at $96.70 a barrel. Gold prices are down 1/3% at $1,697 an ounce. The Aussie dollar was just below 97 cents a few minutes ago, but it's back up to 97.2 against the US dollar, but certainly heading south in line with this general deterioration in global growth prospects because of the spiralling meltdown that just seems to be occurring in Europe. At Westpac, our forecast for recession in Europe, which we've had since July, we're forecasting a 0.5% contraction in economic growth in 2012. We're debating internally revising that to a substantially deeper contraction, maybe as much as 2%. Certainly the signals that we're seeing from economic data and from funding costs and from the lack of policy action all point to a very severe down in Europe, with implications for global growth and even for policy making in places like Australia and New Zealand. On that point, we've got Glenn Stevens, Reserve Bank Governor, addressing the Australian Business Economists dinner tonight, Thursday night Sydney time. I might be interesting to see or hear what he's got to say, most certainly. This is my last report for 3 weeks. I'll be heading down to Australia, but I'm sure my colleague Altaz will fill in admirably. Okay, I'll look forward to speaking to you all again in 3 weeks' time.